What's up, everybody? Welcome into a Friday edition of Cooler Talk presented by RTIC, also the presenting sponsor of KJack TV, which you definitely have to see. But I'm glad you're here because we've got a massive ball game to talk about on Sunday, Lincoln Financial Field. I don't know how many of the traveling Texans are going to be there, but last week was really impressive. I'll tell you this quick story about the game on Saturday up in New York. After the first field goal, I usually stand back by the uprights to see the field goal go through, and I could hear a bunch of people behind me, like, giving the ref the business, like, what's going on? And it was on that third down play where Deshaun, they whistled a sack, and he wasn't really sacked. He weaseled his way out of it. And as he got out of it, of course, the fans were just giving the refs the business. I looked behind and thought, what the heck? And I saw 4 or 5 rows of Texans fans. It was awesome to see. It was really, really cool. So hopefully you'll travel to Philadelphia the same way. I know it's the holiday season, so I know it's probably a little bit more difficult, but regardless, hopefully the Texans give you and all of us a present on Sunday. That would be a win over the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's go to your questions and start with Matt, and I knew it was coming, so let's get it out of the way. Is D'Onta Foreman back this Sunday? I would think so, but I think we'll know a little bit more, obviously, as tomorrow even. Lamar Miller is listed as questionable on the injury report. We have seen questionable mean the guy's going to play. No, I mean, it literally is questionable. So don't know fully whether Lamar Miller is going to be in the lineup or not. I would think regardless, we're still going to see D'Onta Foreman. Alfred Blue, more than likely, I would guess, is going to start. And then we'll probably see D'Onta unless Lamar is ready to give it a go. Now, I thought going into this game, well, maybe if the Eagles are dead, then maybe they're not all about this game, then maybe you could rest Lamar, but Texans need as much Lamar Miller as possible. Then again, they're going to have a fresh running back. Now, fresh can mean a lot of different things. Fresh can mean he's got fresh legs, he's going to feel good, he's going to be amped up, he's going to be ready to go. But fresh on the other side means he's not been tackled since November of 2017. I mean, fully brought to the ground tackling. So ball security, pass protection, those are the things you sort of worry about if D'Onta is going to be back in the lineup. But I'm like you guys. I'm excited to see what he can bring to this lineup. So my lean would be, yes, that we will see him on Sunday. But I would think these last 2 games are a pretty good audition for D'Onta Foreman to show what he can do after the Achilles. This from Miguel, a.k.a. Mike. He says, any update on Kevin Johnson? The only thing really that we know about Kevin is that he will not come back this year. The Texans had the opportunity to bring back 2 players off of IR. And they brought back Dylan Cole a few weeks ago. And Kayvon Webster entered into the 21-day window. Now, I don't think there's been an official statement that I know of that Webster has been added to the 53-man roster. But it was kind of the same way with Dylan. It was later in the week. He had practiced. Then they made the announcement. And I believe what the Sammy Coates released, there was a spot available, and I believe that more than likely will be Kayvon when he is ready to go. So that would effectively end the season for Kevin Johnson. So as far as that goes, look, concussions, there aren't really a ton of updates on concussions. When a guy has them, there's no real update to make other than what's the status coming back this year, and I don't think that's going to happen with Dylan Cole and presumably Kayvon Webster coming back to the 53-man roster at some point to help them at corner. So, Mike, I would imagine Kevin's season is over. I'm not sure what could change it at that point because you can only bring 2 players back off of IR. Sammy says, why hasn't Duke Ejiofor gotten more snaps lately? It's a good question. I think when you have guys on the field that have skins on the wall, that's one thing. You got guys like Whitney Merciless, Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt. It's hard to get Duke Ejiofor some snaps amongst all of that. The other aspect of it is Duke's been banged up a little bit, and you don't know how healthy he actually is. Even though he's playing and he's active and he's available, it doesn't mean that he's at 100%, and that could be part of it as well. So, look, when you've got Watt, Merciless, and Clowney rushing the quarterback, that's hard. That's going to be hard to find snaps. And I said it even back in the preseason when I was telling you how good Duke Ejiofor is playing. Regardless of what he did, it's going to be really tough to get snaps on the field. Now, the other aspect of it is the Texans aren't playing a lot of base defense. where they need two outside linebackers out on the field at any one time. So they can play nickel, or they can even play a 4-3 if you want to go that way. And then Whitney's one of the outside linebackers, and then their defensive ends are Clowney and Watt. So there are just not a ton of snaps to go around for Duke, but he's also coming off those injuries in the midseason that he's still trying to get past. So look, I think Duke at some point is still going to play a role with this team this year. There's going to be a time where he gets on the field and he rushes the quarterback. He's got a knack for getting to the quarterback, but it just hasn't happened to this point. Doesn't mean it can't happen in these final 2 games. I take you back to Arian Foster's rookie season. The guy was on practice squad most of the year. The final 3 weeks, he gets active. The final 2 weeks, they put him in as a starting running back, and he blows up. Now, he got an opportunity. So maybe when Duke gets his opportunity, the way to stay on the field is to make the most of that opportunity. So hopefully he'll get a little bit more in Philadelphia. He gets back to Nick Foles, creates some pressure, creates some turnovers. Maybe he'll get back on the field. It's going to be tough when you got guys like Watt, Merciless, and Clowney to get in front of them. Joshua says, will Kayvon Webster suit up on Sunday? I talked about that a little while ago. Not totally sure what the situation is as far as Kayvon's concerned. My gut tells me that, yes, that we could very well see him on Sunday, but I don't know if we've gotten the official notice that he's going to join the 53-man roster, because that's where we are in the process. If he joins the 53-man roster, then away you go. You're going to see Kayvon Webster, I would imagine, on Sunday, because it's going to be all hands on deck at the corner position trying to stop Alshon Jeffrey and Golden Tate and Nelson Aguilar. They got some good receivers, and it's going to take all of them. This from Chris. Is Aaron Colvin back in the starting lineup again? Depends on what starting lineup you're talking about, because when they went nickel, Aaron would be in there. Look, I don't get too involved with starting lineups, because you can look at a starting lineup, and 2 weeks ago I was doing my Know Your Foe, and I did it for the Indianapolis Colts, and it was a starting lineup that didn't have T.Y. Hilton in it. But then T.Y. Hilton came in the game and caught all kinds of passes. So I don't really put a whole lot of stock in the starting lineup. I don't know that you would say Aaron is a starter. I don't know. I think it all depends on situation. You're facing Philadelphia. They can throw the football a little bit. You're probably going to be in nickel a lot. I mean, the Texans are a nickel anyways. I mean, this is a nickel league. All teams basically are playing nickel at least 50 to 60% of the time or more. And the Texans fall in that category because they like to have Kareem Jackson, Justin Reed, and Tyrann Mathieu on the field. And then they got 2 corners to go with those 3. So they do play a significant amount of nickel. So Jonathan Joseph is questionable with he was sick this week, and he's also dealing still, I think, with the ankle, I believe, on the injury report. So he's questionable and did not participate in practice on Friday. So I know Aaron's going to get some time. I don't know if I'd say he's in the starting lineup again, but he's probably going to be on the field at some point. Pete says, can we clinch a playoff spot before Sunday's game? Yes. A playoff spot, yes. And that will come courtesy of the LA Chargers. If the Chargers beat the Ravens, then we'll have a spot. So we'll know by, I don't know, what, midnight Eastern time, whether the Texans have a spot locked up in the playoffs. Now, obviously, you know they're playing for more. But to Pete's point, can we clinch it before Sunday's game? Yes. Baltimore losing, Pittsburgh losing, those both would put the Texans in the playoffs. Now, Saturday's game is Baltimore. Sunday afternoon's game is Pittsburgh. Obviously, we'll know a lot about what's got to happen after the Texans game. But Texans win. They lock up the division. They then still stay number 2 in the AFC and are still looking for a bye at that point by beating Jacksonville the following week. So that's what happens with a win. With a loss, there's still chaos. But a Baltimore loss on Saturday night would put the Texans in the playoffs for sure. So we're good there. Daniel, is Kaimi Fairbairn one of the best kickers in the league? Opinion? Yes. Guy's been nails. He's had 3 games of 5 field goal attempts or more. I don't think he's had more than 5. He's had 3 games of 5 field goal attempts. 2 of those games he was perfect, and 1 he missed 1. So he's 14 of 15 in those games. He has nailed 50-yard field goals on the road in big situations. He hit the 54-yarder at Washington. He hit the 53-yarder last week against the New York Jets. He's been nails. He's had his confidence, and he's done a whale of a job for this team this year. The kickoffs, and that's the thing with Kaimi. Because he's got such a strong leg, but he can be accurate. If they want to kick it through the end zone, he can do that. They did that last week to Andre Roberts. They tried to keep Roberts from running those kicks back because he's the best kickoff returner in the league. So Kaimi just blasted it 7-8 yards into the end zone or all the way to the back of the end zone. He did that, and then he nailed all his field goals. I mean, that's been huge. But he also can pop it up and kind of land it. If the Texans want that team to return. He can sky it high and let him catch it just before the goal line. The coverage team can go down and stop him before he gets to the 25. So he can do both, and I think he's done a whale of a job. And I think the fact that Jason Myers is the AFC Pro Bowl kicker, especially after what he did last week against us, he got a Bronx cheer for making an extra point. That should tell you something. Marcus, is Kiki an option for Sunday against the Eagles? Well, he's questionable, so I don't know exactly what that means, because earlier in the year, questionable, he played. Lately, questionable has meant he's not playing. So is he an option? Maybe. I mean, when a guy's questionable, this year we've kind of seen it take all forms. Questionable has meant guys have played. J.J. Watt was questionable at one point in injury report. He played. I think it was against Cleveland, if I remember correctly. So guys have been questionable. They've played. Guys have been not. And that's kind of the thing about the injury report. There's out and there's questionable. There's also doubtful. You don't see that very often, though. Questionable runs the gamut. If you're out, you're out. But questionable runs the gamut. Questionable means, well, he's had some limited participation in practice, so we better be safe. We'll put him as questionable. But they're going to play. Then some guys are listed as questionable, but you got a pretty good feeling they're not going to play. So is he an option? Yeah, he's listed as questionable, so there's an option. It's just a matter of whether he can be on the field finally, which we absolutely need. There's no question about that. So, Marcus, good question. All right, got a few shout-outs. Got one for Darby from Pittsburgh. That's good. I like Pittsburgh. Don't like Philly this week. Like Pittsburgh. Melanie in Columbus, Mississippi. Jay in New Waverly, Texas. Seth in the Villages in Florida. Ooh, I know where that is. In the Villages of Florida. And Karen inside the Galleria Mall. That's awesome. I don't know where exactly you are in the Galleria Mall, but Karen, that's awesome. Gabri in Italy. Gabri, did I say that right? I hope I said that right. Gabri in Italy. That's awesome. What time is it over there? What day is it over there? I don't know. Maybe the Texans are already playing over there by now. Who knows? Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. We got so much for you. We've got Texans Unlimited pregame show that you definitely want to check out on Sunday Sunday before the Texans game. You've also got our pregame show, Countdown to Kickoff, that is coming up on Sunday. You've also got, whose hand is that in there? And you're going to hear this guy. Just pop on the screen. Just pop on the screen. You have no mic. You're going to hear this guy. You're going to hear Mark Vandermeer, Andre Ware, and myself starting at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock local, Central Time. Texans, Eagles. Got to go get this one. Appreciate you guys for being here. Thanks to RTIC. Thanks to you guys. Happy holidays. And we'll see you from Philly. Go Texans.